Hello students, I hope you all are doing well. I welcome you all on the platform of InGrade NEET JEE Foundation. So today's our topic of discussion is going to be some basic concepts. This is going to be lecture number 3 on this topic. Without any further delay, let's start it. Firstly, let's see how we are going to cover today's topic. Firstly, we will see the mole concept. After covering mole concept, we will see Avogadro hypothesis and its application. After completing this, we will do some question practice over this, and then we will see the percentage composition of a compound. So let's see what is your mole concept. So in our earlier class, as I discussed with you what is your mole concepts. Let's see it again. So basically a mole is the amount of a substance that contains as many entities, which means it can be atom, molecule, ion or any other particle. As there are atoms in your exactly 12 gram of C12 isotope. It simply means that let's say 1 U of H. That means 1 unified mass of your hydrogen atom. If I want to write it in grams, then I would say 1 gram of H, that is equals to your Na, where Na represent your Avogadro's number, which is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23, right? So this is going to be your Avogadro constant, or I would say mole. Okay. So it simply say that a mole of a substance contains 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. That can be your atom, molecules, ions or your particles. Okay. Now see, your mass of 1 mole of a substance in gram is called your molar mass. Okay. If we are going to represent mass of a substance, 1 mole of a substance in gram, that is known as your molar mass. For example, if I say that what is the mass of oxygen in, or I would say molar mass of oxygen, right? So you say, ma'am, it will be equal to 16 gram, which means 16 gram is equals to 1 Na. Okay. Now see, 1 gram atom, that can be equal to 1 mole of atom, or I would say Na atoms, right? So 1 gram molecule means that your 1 gram molecule will contain Na molecule. Okay. And if I would say what is the meaning of your number of atoms, or I would say number of ions that is present in your Avogadro number, so that is equals to your Na ions. Okay. Hope you got it. After this, we will cover some this is going to be some formulas that is very important for us. Okay. So we know that your number of moles, if you want to calculate number of moles in terms of masses, then your N will be equal to given mass upon my molar mass. This molar mass can be your Km, or you can say GMM. Basically, we are taking this GMM, and GM is equals to your molar mass. Okay. If we want to calculate number of moles in terms of your volume, then we will apply this formula, which say that given volume is equals to 22.4 liter. So this formula comes from your Avogadro hypothesis. Sorry, just wait. Yeah. Avogadro hypothesis, which we are going to cover in this lecture. Okay. Last but not the least, that is going to be very important formula, which says that if you want to calculate number of moles in terms of atoms, ions or molecules, then you are going to simply apply that number of atom, molecules, ions, that is divided by your Avogadro number. Okay. So simply we can say that N is equals to given mass. If I am representing given mass by W, then I would write it like W by M, that is equals to V upon V naught, where V naught represent your volume, that is at STP, that is equals to 22.4 liter, and equal to N by Na. Here Na is your Avogadro number and N represent your atoms, ions, molecules. Okay. So we just have to remember this form. Okay, this is going to be important for us. Now let's move further and see what is your Avogadro hypothesis. Simply this say that under similar conditions, of temperature and pressure. Equal volume of all gases contain equal number of molecules. What does this mean? We are not getting it. See, it says that under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, means that if temperature and pressure is same, that number of atoms that is present in your any two gases will be equal. Now let's take an example of your balloon. If I say take a balloon and fill it with your helium ion, okay, take another balloon that is of same size and same mass and fill it with your hydrogen gas or I would say oxygen gas, then the both balloon will contain equal number of particles in it, which means that they both are placed at your similar conditions of temperature and pressure. That's why the number of atoms, particles and molecules that is present in your that particular gas will be equal. So this is simply is explained by your Avogadro hypothesis, which says that if your temperature and pressure is same, then the number of molecules, atoms, particles that is contained by any another two gases will be equal. I hope you got it. Now let's take an example of your hydrogen chloride. Let's say hydrogen gas is reacting with your chlorine gas. If I am writing it like in the form of your formula, I would write it like H2 plus Cl2, that is giving us HCl. See students, here we are going to balance this equation. So balancing of equation we will discuss in stoichiometric coefficient. So here I am just writing it like balance equation. In our earlier classes we have discussed about what is balancing equation. Okay, so I am simply writing it like H2 plus Cl2 will give us 2 moles of HCl. It says that if n molecules of hydrogen gas is reacting with n molecules of chlorine gas, then they are going to produce your 2n molecules of HCl. Simply see here, if stoichiometric coefficient is 1, I would say n is equals to 1 here, and for Cl2 n is equals to 1. So see, the coefficient that is present in HCl is 2, which means 2 molecules of HCl is present. Okay. If you are taking in the form of molecule, as I told you, this is going to be the same. If we are saying in terms of atom, then how we are going to represent it? It simply is there, says that if half atom of hydrogen, we are talking here about your atom, not molecule. So if half atom of hydrogen is reacting with half atom of your chlorine, that it will give us one compound of HCl. Simply says, I am writing it here like this. So H2 plus Cl2 giving us 2 HCl. Na? So if I am saying half, it's simply representing like this. So we will get one compound of your HCl. Okay. Next says, if one atom of hydrogen is reacting with one atom of your chlorine, that it will give us, this is going to be 2 atoms. Okay. This is going to be 2, and you are not going to write it like atom. It will be your compound, or you will say molecule. Just wait for a moment. Okay. This is going to be 2 molecule of HCl. Okay. I hope you got it. Now let's move further and see the applications of your Avogadro hypothesis. This is going to be your applications. First application is about your atomicity. So simply, what is the meaning of your atomicity? Atomicity simply means that the number of atoms that is present in your one molecule. It simply says that in one molecules, how many atoms are going to react with each other so that one molecule is forms. I discussed this topic in the previous lecture. You can see that lecture also, where I told you that, let's say, if one hydrogen is reacting with another hydrogen atom, then it is producing H2 molecule. Okay. So if I want to say what is the atomicity of H2, then its atomicity will be equal to 2. Ma'am, you are saying that two hydrogen atoms are present in this H2 molecule. It simply means this. Okay, now let's take an example of your noble gases. See, we all know that noble gases are monoatomic in nature. Noble gases means your helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon and radon. So they are basically monoatomic, which means they are present in single atom, okay, single form. But ozone is your triatomic in nature. Triatomic simply means 3 atoms of oxygen is combining with each other to form your one molecule of O3. It simply says that your O3 is existing like this. Okay, so here 3 atoms of oxygen is present. This Avogadro hypothesis help us to determining the atomicity of elements. As I told you how we are going to explain the atomicity, this is how we are going to calculate it. Hope you got it. Now let's move further and see another application of this hypothesis, which says the relationship between molecular mass and your vapor density. So in mole concept, you are going to see many questions that is framed over this vapor density. So how this vapor density is calculated, we are going to see it here. So simply student, we all know that density is equals to mass per unit volume, right? So if we are talking about vapor density, it simply says that we are going to take density of atom and dividing it by the density of hydrogen. So here we are talking about atom, right? If we want to calculate density in terms of molecule, then how we are going to calculate it? Let's see. See, mass of certain volume of gas, that is equals to mass of same volume of hydrogen at same temperature and pressure. As Avogadro talk about, I would say Avogadro hypothesis is talking about the conditions that is fixed over your same temperature and pressure. That's why we are taking mass of same volume of hydrogen at same temperature and pressure. Hope you got it. Now see, some question maybe comes in your mind that ma'am, where is your volume? We are going to take the same volume na. So if I am say mass per unit volume, so density of atom simply I am going to represent it like Ma and volume of V. So volume will remain same. That's why if I write it like V, and if I am going to write like density, or I would say mass of H multiplying it by V, then instantly get cancel out and we are going to take your mass of particular atom, that is divided by mass of hydrogen. Okay. Now see, if we want to talk about molecular mass, we will take the molecular mass of gas and we are going to divide this molecular mass by the molecular mass of hydrogen. And we all know that hydrogen simply exists in the form of H2, which means ma'am, its molecular mass is going to be 2 gram. Okay, so simply the important formula that you have to remember for your exam is going to be this, which says that molar mass is equals to 2 into vapor density. Okay, now let's move further and see what is your gram molecular volume. Simply this is very important for you to understand. Why I am saying is because in our mole concept we have seen the formula which say that number of moles equals to given volume, that is divided by your 22.4 liter, right? So how this 22.4 liter will come, we are going to see here. Okay, see students, it simply says that 1 gram mole of any gas occupies 22.4 liter, or you can say that 22,400 ml of volume at NTP or STP condition. Ma'am, what is the meaning of NTP and STP? The NTP represent your normal temperature pressure condition and your STP represent, I am writing it here, standard temperature and pressure. So these conditions are fixed. So STP conditions are, for STP you have to remember this which says that your temperature will be equal to 273 Kelvin, or you can say it is equals to your 0 degrees. Okay, and pressure will be equal to 1 atm or 760 mm of Hg. Okay, now see, in some books it is written that NTP condition. In NTP conditions, I am writing it here, just wait for a moment. Yeah, in NTP conditions, pressure will remain same, that is equals to 1 atm, but your temperature will be equal to 20 degrees Celsius. Some teachers say that it is belonging between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius, but in standard book it is written that temperature is equals to your 20 degrees Celsius. Okay, basically you have to remember this condition. Okay, now see how we are going to calculate it. Simply we are going to use unitary method here. We know that density of hydrogen atom at NTP is equals to this. So this density is basically calculated, and we all know that density is equals to your mass per unit volume. Okay, simply see the conditions of your, just wait for, see the units that is representing here in the form of gram per ml. Okay, in unitary method it simply says that your 0.0009, or I would say 1 2 3 4 5 na, so 9 into 10 to the power minus 5. Okay, this much gram hydrogen is present in your 1 ml. Okay, 1 ml, in 1 ml this much gram of hydrogen is present, and we have to calculate the volume. So how we are going to calculate it? See here. So 0.009, I am not again going to explain 0.00, so I am writing it like 9 into 10 to the power minus 5 gram of hydrogen will occupy volume, that is equals to 1 ml. Okay, now if we want to calculate 1 gram, so how we are going to do it? So 1 gram of H will occupy volume at NTP, that is equals to 1 divided by 0.000, or I would say 9 into 10 to the power minus 5. See one thing here, this is your mass. Okay, and this is simply says mass is equals to density, or I would say density is equals to mass per unit volume. We all know that we are going to here calculate volume. It simply means density is equals to, volume is equals to density by mass. So if we are talking about 1 gram, then we will write it like this. But we want to calculate in terms of molecule, then how we are going to see like it, like just wait. So 1 mole of hydrogen will occupy, that is equals to 2. Here simply mass of H2 atom, or I would say molecule is taken, that is equals to 2 gram. So if you divide 2 gram by this, then you will get 22.4 liter. Hope you got it. Okay, now let's move further and see some question that is based on your mole concept. I am again repeating the formula that is very important for you to remember for your question practice, which says that N is equals to given mass. I am writing it like by W divided by molar mass, that is equals to V upon V naught, and that is equals to N by N naught. Okay. Now I am considering like you are able to learn this formula, where you are also know what is the meaning of V, what is the meaning of W, and what is the meaning of N. I am simply going to apply this formula on these questions and just try to solve this. Just wait it. Yeah, and try to solve this question with me. So let's see the solution. Before moving to the solution, let's see what's questions. It simply says that what is the mass of 0.5 mole of CO2. See here, value of N is given to us. So we are going to take this, and next it says we are going to calculate the mass. Na? Simply we are going to use these two formulas. Okay, we are going to use these two. So N is equals to 0.5, and for CO2 molar mass that is equals to, for carbon it is 12 gram, and for your oxygen 2 multiplied by is, sorry, that is 60, that is equals to 44 gram. So this is your molar mass. So 0.5 is equals to, let's say it is W, we have to calculate it. So molar mass is 44. So W is equals to 0.5 multiplied by 44. That is equals to, so this is going to be your answer. Answer is 22. Okay. Hope you are able to do this question. Now let's move further and see another question. That is, how many atoms of hydrogen are there in 3 moles of NH3? See, in this question, we have to calculate the number of atoms. It simply says that we have to find out the value of N. Okay. In 3 moles of NH3, which means that value of, just wait, value of N given to us, that is equals to 3. So how we are going to calculate, ma'am? Simply we are going to use the formula which says that N is equals to N by Na. So value of N is 3. Have to calculate N, and Na, that is equals to, so N is equals to 3 Na. See students, this is not going to be the correct answer of this question. Why I am saying this? Because it says how many atoms of hydrogen are there in 3 moles of NH3. If I am talking about 1 mole of NH3, then we all know that 1 mole of NH3 contains 3 atoms of your hydrogen, right? So if I want to calculate how many atoms are present in your this much moles, then how I am going to calculate, or I can write it like this: 3 mole of NH3 contain, okay, one more thing, if it is talking about atoms, then we all know that it is equals to, like I am writing it like 3 into 3 into Na, that is simply say 9 Na. So why I am talking it like this? Just wait for a moment. As I told you that 1 gram is equals to your 1 Na, which simply says this much atoms are present in your 1 gram. Okay. So if we want to calculate the number of atoms, then we are going to multiply it like by this. Hope you got it. So with this, now let's move further and see the next question. Says from 200 mg, you have to notice the unit that is written in your question. So this is going to be very important for you to know about the unit. Here mg simply means milligrams, and we all know that milligrams is equals to 10 to the power minus 3 gram. The question says that from 200 milligram of CO2, 10 to the power 21 molecules are removed. Okay, this much molecules are removed. So how many moles of CO2 are left? Basically, we have to find out the value of N. So how we are going to calculate it? See students, here I am writing the solution. In solution, we know that mass of CO2, that is equals to 200 mg, and in the form of gram, I am writing it like 200, that is multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3 gram, which is simply equal to your 0.2 gram. Okay, so this much CO2 is present in your this question. Okay, now we have to calculate the mass of 10 to the power 21 molecules. So how we are going to use this? Just wait. Mass of 10 to the power 21 molecules. See which formula we are going to apply here. We all know that given mass, or I would like it, I would write it like W by M, that is equals to N by Na, right? So here if I want to calculate, if I would say I want to calculate W, and the mass of your CO2 is equals to 44 gram, right? And the value of N is given to us, that is 10 to the power 21, and we all know Na represents 6.022 into 10 to the power 21, right? So if I want to calculate this value, then W is equals to 10 to the power 21, that is multiplied by 44 and divided by your 6.022 to 10 to the power 23. Sorry, I wrote 10 to the power 21 here, 10 to the power 23. Okay, so if I solve this, it will be come out that is equals to 0.073 gram. Okay, so this much, just wait for a moment. See, this much amount of CO2 is present in 10 to the power 21 molecules. We have to calculate the how many moles of CO2 are left. So how we are going to calculate it? Firstly, just wait. I am writing it here. Wait for a moment. Sorry, just wait for. I am writing the rest solution here. So see, left mass of CO2, that is equals to, we all know that 0.2 we are going to subtract minus, I am writing it, just wait. So 0 point minus 0 point, that is your 0.073 gram, right? So this will be coming out, if you calculate it, it will be equal to, just wait for a moment, 7, right? So this much amount of CO2 is left. So this is in the form of your mass. Okay. Now we have to calculate the moles. So how we are going to calculate the moles? Then we simply going to apply this formula which say N is equals to W by M, simply means 0.27 gram, that is divided by your 44 gram. Okay. Now try to solve this. After solving this, you are going to get your answer, which is equal to approximately 2.88 into 10 to the power minus 3 approximately. Okay. Sorry, I wrote gram. Okay, this is going to answer a question. I hope you got it. So how you are going to solve this question, this may be clear to you. Okay, now let's move further and see next question. So this question is going to be homework for you. You are going to solve this question by yourself. I am going to explain the question. Simply you have to find out the right solution for this, which says that the maximum number of molecules that is present in 50 liter of H2 gas at STP. Simply you are going to apply. I am writing, just wait. I am writing the formula that you are going to use for this question. See, for 15 liter, it simply says that you have to, just wait, sorry, I wrote wrong formula. Yeah, if we are talking about in terms of volume and molecules, then we are going to apply this formula. Okay. So by using this formula, you can calculate the number of molecules that is present in 15 liter of H2 gas. Same formula is going to apply for this option B. Now for option C, it says gram, it simply means W by M, where W represent given mass, that is equals to 0.5 gram, and we all know that molar mass is equals to 2. So this will be equal to your N by Ne. Okay. Okay, I am solving this question. Just wait. If I solve for A, it simply means that 15 divided by 22.4 liter, that is equals to n by na. Okay. So value of n is coming out to be your 15 by 22.4 liter into n. Okay. For B, again I am going to use same formula. I am writing it like this. So n will be equal to your 5 liter, that is divided by 22.4 liter, and you will going to multiply it by like na. Okay. For C, option C, it says that n is equals to, here given mass is 0.5 gram, that is divided by 2, and you are going to multiply it by na. And for your option D, that is equals to, n is equals to 10 divided by, sorry, here 32 will come as it says O2 molecule, so it will be multiplied by na. Okay. Now you are going to solve this and tell me the answer of this question in comment box section. Now let's move further and see next slide, in which next question is given to you, which says calculate the number of gram molecules in 4.54 ml SO3 gas at STP conditions. Simply you have to find out the number of molecules that is present in your 4.54 ml volume. Again, you are going to apply the formula. I am writing the formula. This is for your homework. You are going to solve this question by yourself. Simply, you are going to write the formula in which V upon V naught is equals to N by Na. Use this formula and try to solve this question by yourself. Now, let's move further and see again the question. This question is again for your homework. Try to solve it by yourself. Now let's move further and see the next topic, which is the percentage composition of a compound. It simply says that how you are going to calculate the percentage of an element that is present in any compound. It simply says that it is the relative mass of each of the constituent element that is present in your 100 parts of it. Simply meaning, if I am saying let molecular mass of a compound is m, okay, so the mass of element in the molecule, let's say it is x. Simply m is the total mass. Okay, it's simply meaning the total mass of your compound. Okay. So if I want to calculate the percentage of this x, so how I am going to calculate it? It simply says that mass of element, that is x, and you are going to divide it by molar mass of that compound, that is m, and I'm going to multiply it by 100. So with this you are going to know the composition of your element that is present in your compound. Okay. Now one important formula which says that number of atoms of an atom, that is multiplied by atomic mass divided by m into 100. Now what is the meaning of this formula? Students, it simply says that, let's say if I say in H2SO4 you have to calculate the composition of hydrogen atom. Okay, or I would say okay, yeah, if you want to calculate the composition of hydrogen atom, then how you are going to calculate it? See, this is your compound. Okay, and in one compound, or I would say in this compound, 1 mole of this compound contains how much atoms of hydrogen? Simply I will say one molecule. Let's talk about one molecule. So one molecule of H2SO4 contains 2 atoms of hydrogen. Simply it means that 2 atoms of hydrogen is present in H2SO4. If in question, let's say x grams of H2 or I would say hydrogen is given to you, so how you are going to calculate it? You're simply going to multiply it by 2. As we all know that atomicity of hydrogen is 2 here. So 2 into x, that is divided by molar mass. You can calculate the molar mass of H2SO4 by your own self and you will get 98. and you are going to multiply it by 100. So this is the question, or I would say this is the formula that you have to remember for your exams. And one important thing, in many times such kind of question is framed in the form of solution also. It simply means that in a particular question, the examiner is going to say, let's just you have to calculate the composition of solute that is present in solution. So how you are going to calculate it? You going to use this formula to calculate the solution, or I would say the percentage of that particular element or molecule compound that is given to you. Okay, we will understand this by using some, or I would say by solving some questions. Let's move further and see the question that is based upon your percentage of composition, which says that calculate the percentage composition of calcium nitrate. So how you are going to solve this question? Firstly, the most important thing, that is you must know the formula of calcium nitrate. And ma'am, we all know that calcium nitrate simply means CaNO3 twice, right? So now this is going to be very easy for us to calculate the composition of each element. Ma'am, how we are going to calculate it? See here. We know that the mass of calcium is 40, right? And the two nitrogen atoms are present here, which simply means 2 into 14, and number of oxygen atoms that is present here is going to be your 6. How? 3 into 2. As I told you in the previous class, let's say if AX, just wait for a moment. Yeah, if AX, BY, such kind of compound is given to you, then this subscript simply represent the number of atoms that is present in your particular compound. Okay, now let's take example of your H2O. It simply says that 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom is present in your 1 molecule of H2O. Okay, if in question, let's say, just wait for a moment. Yeah, if I say CH3 COOH, this is going to be very easy for you to calculate the number of atoms. It simply says that number of carbon is 2, number of hydrogen atom is equals to 4, right? And number of oxygen atom is 2. And if in any question or in any compound such kind of question, or I would say such kind of compound is given to you, that it simply means that you are going to multiply this superscript by this, which simply says that 6 oxygen atom is present in this compound and 2 nitrogen atom is present. Okay, it simply means that you are going to use this subscript only for this NO3, not for this, as we know that this subscript comes under this bracket. That's why we are not going to consider this 2 for calcium. I hope you got it. Now let's move further and solve the question, which simply says 6 into 16, right? So it's simply coming out to be 28, 6 are 36, 9, right? So that is equals to 14, just wait, 160. So this is going to be your molar mass. Okay, now how you are going to calculate the composition? We all know that for percentage of Ca, simply the calcium weight is 40 gram. We are going to multiply it by 100 and going to divide by 164. Then we will get the composition. Okay, that's for your nitrogen atom, that is equals to, for nitrogen, 14 gram is going to be the weight of this element, and we are going to divide it by 1. Then the percentage of your nitrogen will be. Now see, if you want to calculate the percentage of oxygen, so we are going to solve the time. So how we are going to use this? Let's say you are just try to solve this by your own self. I am writing it like in the form of xy. Let's say X percentage of calcium is present and Y percentage of your nitrogen is present. So simply you are going to use 100 minus X plus Y. You are simply going to use this trick to solve your time. So percentage of all, let's say Z is coming. So this is going to be the answer of this question. Okay, I hope you got it. So that's how you are going to solve this question. Now let's move further and see another question that is also based upon your this percentage of composition, which says calculate the mass percentage of benzene and carbon tetrachloride if 22 gram of benzene is dissolved in 122 gram of carbon tetrachloride. First of all, you must know the formula of benzene, and ma'am, we all know that benzene is equals to C6H6, and it is given to us that it is present in 22 gram. Okay, this is given mass. Okay, next says carbon tetrachloride, we simply say CCl4, that is 122 gram. See students, right now I am not telling you what is the meaning of solute and solvent and how we are going to calculate it, but I am simply explaining you that this is going to be your solute and this is going to be your solvent. So if I add solute into the solvent, then I will get my solution. So solute simply means the component that is present in lesser amount, and solvent is the component that is present in your larger amount. So after adding the masses of solute and solvent, we will get the mass of solution. So how we are going to calculate it? Simply we know that here benzene will act as your solute. So here 22 gram plus 144 gram, sorry, this is your 122, na? Yeah, just 122. So the mass of solution is coming out to be 144 gram. So you are going to use this component, sorry, this mass for the total molecular mass of your compound. Okay, or I would say the solution. Now in question it say you have to calculate the mass percentage of benzene. Na? So for benzene, for percentage of C6H6, let's calculate its mass is simply coming out to be 12 into 6 plus 6, that is equals to 72 plus 6, ma'am, which is 78. So we are going to divide this 78 by 144 and going to multiply it by 100. Okay, so try to solve it by your own self. You can do it. Okay, let's just try to solve it. Give me a minute. Two sevens are. So that's how I guess this may be easy for you to calculate. So try to solve it by your own self. So after calculating the mass of benzene, you can calculate the mass of percentage of CL4. That is simply, I would say, subtracting the composition 100 minus your X. Let's say X percentage is coming. So just try to divide, or sorry, I would say subtracted by 100, you will get the exact solution of your question. Okay. With this, so let's see what we have covered in this lecture. This lecture have seen the mole concept and some short tricks that is related to your mole concept. So how we are going to solve mole concept and some formula that is completely based upon mole concept. After covering mole concept, we did some question practice over your mole concept. So after doing that mole concepts question, we discuss the percentage of mass composition that is related to your compound or solution. So with this, we have covered so much amount of some basic concepts of chemistry. So right now I am going to winding up this session. I hope you like it. So thank you. Have a nice